Since we recently started a new year, 2021, I'm guessing that you set new goals for the year. Maybe just like every year, you set big goals. My question is like, have you actually achieved them? And that's what I want to go into today. How do you set big goals and make sure to actually achieve them? My name is Wilco the Kreij. I'm the founder and CEO of UpViral and Connectio. And over the years, I've set a lot of goals because I'm a very goal-driven person. Let's just put it like that. I love to just take on a challenge, not knowing how to crack the code, and figure a way out to crack the code and go to that next level. And over the last couple of years, my business growth has not been like this, right? That would be ideal. That's not the case. Instead, my business growth has always been like that. And it's really funny because this is repeating over and over and over again. Usually I set a certain goal. It doesn't matter which level I was at. I want to maybe generate $10,000 a month in my business. And the problem is, usually when I set that goal, even though I want it, I really want it, I don't actually believe it. And because I don't believe it, I don't actually hit it. Like I don't know how to figure it out. And every single time when that happened, like I set a certain goal, I sort of like grew gradually, like a little bit, but not like that. And also all of a sudden at some point, for whatever reason or not, I believe it was possible. Right? Without a shadow of doubt, I know I will get there. And that's usually, and obviously it's not that line, but that's usually where like a catapult over there. But then the problem arises, I hit that goal, right? Because usually then, like once I believe it, I go really fast towards that goal. All of a sudden, like everything becomes clear, all the problems and obstacles, they don't matter as much anymore. I hit that goal, right? For example, that $10,000 level. And then I say to myself, I'm here. What do I do now, right? I set the new goal, but guess what? I don't truly believe it yet because I just hit 10,000. Am I gonna believe, like, gonna be able to hit $50,000 a month, for example, in revenue? I want it, and I wanna believe it as well, but I don't truly believe it. I don't truly believe it. And that's like when it's like that, and until I get to the point where I actually believe it, truly believe it, and that's when I get it, right? So the belief is really one of the critical things that you need to have in place to be able to hit any kind of goal. Because if you don't truly believe it, it's not going to work out. Obviously, it's not enough to believe it. Well, it starts with that. But like you still have to execute it. You still have to actually manage to do it, right? So that's why I want to go into my 5 steps to set the right goal and make sure you actually hit it. And the first step is the why, right? Figure out your why, because if you just set a certain goal, whatever that would be, if there's no true reason behind it, you're not gonna get it, right? You need to be super motivated for that. Like for example, like I said, the $10,000. No one wants $10,000 because that on itself, that's not worth anything. It's only what you do with it. Maybe it's because you want to have the freedom. Like you need to be very clear on your why, because that thing is what's going to keep you motivated. The money itself is going to keep you motivated. Even though you feel though right now it might, trust me, it won't keep you motivated. You need to know why you're actually doing it. And then number 2 is to paint the picture, right? Like let's say you have this certain goal. Paint the picture of what that will be like. Let's say by the end of the year, you have this goal in mind. Don't just think about that number, but paint the picture as clearly as you can be, as vivid as you can imagine it. Like, where are you working? What's your office like? What's the team like? Do you have people? What is your product? What kind of customers? Like, make it as clear as possible. Like everything that's impacting that, create a picture that's as vivid, as clear as possible, because that way you can work backwards from that. If you're doing, like, for example, all of your customer support and like you're spending 6 hours a day sending back emails to your customers, which is awesome, don't get me wrong. But at some point, if your business is growing, that wouldn't make sense anymore, right? So by painting that picture of where you will be at the end of the year as clearly as possible, you'll start to see things like, hey, wait a second, if I truly want to be there by the end of the year, that means I need to get rid of the things I'm doing today, right? Don't wait for them to just magically remove itself. That doesn't happen. So paint a picture how it would be at the end of the year, for example, and then work yourself backwards. Number 3 is what I already touched on, and that is very important, and that is create the belief, right? How do you actually do that? I believe every person is different in how to create their belief. For me personally, what I can tell you what works best for me is to hang out with people who have already done it. That's my fastest way to believe I can do it. I remember at some point I was in the mastermind from Russell Brunson, and there was very people in that room, and like I had the goal initially to double the business, right? And then I came to that mastermind and I spoke to various people, and quite a few of them, they had a business in revenue size. They were 3 times the amount of revenue that I had, right? And I was talking to them, I'm like, I figured like if you can do it, I definitely can. It wasn't enough to just talk to one of them, but like I spoke to a couple of them, like you do like around 3 times as much, you do around 3 times as much. Like if they can do it with what they're doing, I definitely can. I believed it. I started like, because I communicated with those people, I started to, in the bottom of my heart, I started to believe it. And guess what? In that year I was in that mastermind, I didn't double the business, I tripled my business revenue, right? Because I believed I could. So hanging out with people is an important one for me, but also listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, reading books of people who've already done it. Because if you surround yourself with people, whether it's actually in person, whether it's online, social media, or even if you're listening to podcasts, when you surround your environment with people who've already done it, you'll start to believe that you can do it too. If you surround yourself with people who've never done it, then you'll start to believe you can't, right? And if you, whether you believe that you can or you can't, in both cases, you will be right. And then also create the plan, because even though you have you believe you can do it and you have a goal and you know your why and you paint that picture, but if you don't have the plan of how to actually get there, it's pointless, right? I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, right? You can have all the goals, but if you're not going to change your habits, you're not going to change your behavior, you're not going to change the things you do, it's not going to work. As long as you don't have a plan, it's just wishful thinking. A goal without a plan is a dream, and a dream doesn't happen. Like, you need to make it an actual plan and work towards it, right? And then number 5, accountable. Hold yourself accountable, right? Like when I make myself accountable to it, and I do that by talking to my friends or family and people around me, like, hey, yeah, I got my ambition is to do this and this, to double the business or to launch this new product if that's my goal. Because then I know next time I see them, they're going to ask me like, hey, look, by the way, how's it going? Did you launch that product? And I don't want to say no. I don't want to say like, oh, no, I didn't because, well, I was too busy watching Netflix. Like, that's not an option. Again, everyone is different. But for me, holding myself accountable to the people around me is a huge motivation as well. Because guess what? We are not robots. We are not always as motivated as we would like to be. But in moments where we're not as motivated, this will keep you running and going forward and keep getting that momentum anyway, so you can get back your motivation, right? So be clear on your why. Paint the picture for like what would your life be at the end of that year or that goal, like in detail, so you can recognize the things you need to change today. Make sure you believe it, work actively on that. Don't just hope like, I'll hope I believe it. No, this is a process, right? Start surrounding yourself with people who already done it, so you'll believe that you can do it as well. Plan it, like what's the plan, how you will actually get there. And you don't need to know everything in detail. That, like, don't go crazy, it will figure itself out. But like overall, you need to know a direction of what you believe that plan will work, and then hold yourself accountable as well for times where you're not as motivated. And this is my 5-step process to make sure that I hit my goals. Hope it helps, and hope you have an amazing year. Cheers. All right, cut. We're done here. Let's wrap it up. Oh, well, sorry, you're still there. Well, in that case, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to my channel where I share marketing tips, tricks, and strategies that will help you grow your business faster. So you can click on the subscribe button right now, or check out the next video. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.